Hello everyone, it's Hannah here from Virtually Fluent. Today we are going to talk about how to describe your job, exactly what it is that you do. Now this is really important for two key reasons. First is networking. When you meet people, they normally ask you, what do you do? Or what are your tasks? So it's really important to be able to explain this in English. And the second key reason is it's a common question in job interviews in English. What do you do? And of course, all the phrases that you learn here are transferable for a workplace environment in English. So today we're going to focus on learning all these key phrases. If you would like to practice even more in this topic and learn some jobs vocabulary in English, you can easily take our jobs course. The link is in the description below. So when I introduce myself in a networking situation, I try to break it down into 4 key areas. First, you actually say what your profession is. Second, you talk a little bit about the company and the background. Third is the industry, and finally, you can talk about your responsibilities. Now, in a networking situation, that responsibilities part is not necessarily something to lead with. I'm just adding it in extra today just to help you expand a little bit, talking about your job in English. So the very first thing is to introduce what your job is, and there are 3 key phrases that we could use in English. We could say, I am a or an. A nice, simple phrase. I am a teacher. Remember, we use a plus a consonant sound and an plus a vowel sound. Alternatively, we could say I work as a or an. I work as a teacher. Or we could use the phrase I'm currently working as a or an. Now, we use this particular phrase if you're thinking about changing to a different job or a different industry. I'm currently working as a teacher, but perhaps next year I'll be working as something else. So now we've said what our job is, we need to expand on who we work with, talk a little bit about the company. So we have some nice, simple phrases. I work at the name of the company. I work at Virtually Fluent. Or I work with the name of the company or a particular person if it's a famous person. I work with Virtually Fluent. This is often used if you're collaborating with the company, you're not necessarily an employee at the company. Or if you're new, I've just started at Virtually Fluent. Or if you want to add the time, I've been working at Virtually Fluent for the past 6 years. I also recommend expanding with a little bit of information about the company because most people don't work for these massive, big branded companies, so they're not going to know that much about what the company does or who they are. So you can provide a little bit of extra information. Of course, you can say what type of company it is. We are a startup. We're a small company. We're an SME, which is small to medium-sized enterprise, or a multinational company. We're a global company. We're an international company. Explain what kind of company this is. And you can go into even more detail too, and this is particularly important if you're networking in order to form a good relationship with someone, perhaps a partnership or even get a contract or a customer out of them. For example, our offices are based in London, or our headquarters are in London. Our customers or clients are typically, you could use any adjective, it could be a nationality, are typically French. It could be an age, are typically 16 to 20 years old. You could use any kind of word here to describe who your clients are. We are famous for, or the company is famous for, making mugs, for example. Any kind of product or service that you offer. And of course, you can talk about the nationality of the company. It's a British company. It's a German company. So I really recommend providing information about the company, especially if it's not very well known. The next thing we want to do is talk a little bit about the industry. So which industry do you work in? Now, if the company is well known and you've already spoken about the products or the services that you offer and the clients, this might not be necessary. It could be an alternative to the company, but we'll have a look at these phrases anyway. For example, I work in the drinks industry, or I work in marketing. You can talk about the department and the industry. We do business with, and then again, you talk about your typical clients. It's a drinks company, it's a manufacturing company, or if you're right at the top, it's the market leader in beverages. It's the market leader in, and then the type of product or industry that you really are the market leader in. So these are a few extra little phrases to help you talk about your industry. And finally, you want to talk about your responsibilities, what it is that you do. The most classic basic phrase, I'm responsible for, and then you would list your tasks. Other alternative phrases are my responsibilities include, which is quite formal. In conversational situations, we probably wouldn't use this. I'm in charge of, I'm the manager of, and of course we can use all these keywords and verbs in order to say what you do. I manage, I direct, I advise, I supervise. For a list of the top 25 business verbs that you need to describe your job, then you can head over to our jobs course. I've left the link in the description below. So hopefully all of these phrases will help you feel more comfortable talking about your job. Let's have a quick example with me. So I am an English teacher. I teach English as a foreign language. I'm also self-employed and a business owner, so I started up my own company, Virtually Fluent, which is in the EFL industry, and I've been working at Virtually Fluent for the past 2 years since we launched. So it's more or less a startup, and of course my customers are people who want to learn English as a foreign language, whether it is general English, whether it's for an exam, or of course, whether it is for business reasons. I'm responsible for teaching my private students and also my group classes at my Virtually Fluent Academy. I'm in charge of the entire management and running of the company as I'm the only employee here. And of course, I advise my students on how to improve their English. I handle customers and interest in taking classes. I'm basically the manager of my own company. So there's a little example. What about you? What do your responsibilities include? What is your job? Use some of these phrases from today's video by writing your job description in the YouTube comments below, and we can also offer some feedback and corrections for free. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give us a like, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel. We post lots of new videos on a weekly basis with English grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, typical mistakes in the English language, life in the UK, British culture, lots of things to help you improve your English. This is Hannah from Virtually Fluent, bringing English to life.